Conjunction, junction, what's your function? That was just Mr. Bell being really old and corny. That's how I learned about transition words and like conjunctions, and we learned about like those the style of writing and all of that. So this video and the what, the why, and the how. Last video we talked about comparing and contrasting, right? Well, this video, the what or the objective is for us to figure out what words we should use. And we want to come up with like a list of transitional words and phrases that's going to help us compare and to contrast. Okay, so that's how the how is I've provided a list, and you can see it in the link in this video. In addition to that, the why. It's just important, as I stated in the last video a little bit, is because you don't want to use the wrong word comparing something when you're not trying to compare. You want to get your point across in your writing, and you want to be specific, and you want to be clear and coherent so that the audience that you're trying to reach, which could be your classmates, your peers, your teachers, anyone, you're writing a letter or anything, you want it to make sense to whoever is reading it. All right. So let's get into some transitional words and like some conjunctions. Now, what is a conjunction, right? You're probably thinking, I'm confused a little bit because I heard about it. A noun is a person, place, or thing. I know that. A verb is an action. So conjunction words help to combine clauses or sentences that give the reader like an ability to like transition to something else. It's literally that. So like for example, some simple conjunctions that you might know might be like and or but or yet. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Whereas if we're like comparing or contrasting, we want to get into like the meat and potatoes of it. So if I'm writing a sentence or a paragraph on two of my favorite things or things that I think are similar, I would say, similarly to subject A, subject B is also this. You know what I mean? So like in the other video, I talked about Kobe and I talked about Michael Jordan, where they're kind of really the same player. They have the same body type, the same height, the same weight, and they play the game kind of the same way. So you would say similarly to Michael Jordan, Kobe was a fierce competitor. You would hear people write stuff like that, or you would see that, or you would hear people talk like that when they mention those two. That's so similarly would be a transition word or a conjunction you would use when you're comparing. Whereas, like a phrase, like on the other hand, LeBron James came right out of high school and dominated with his physicality, and now you're starting talking like that. For my girls, so if I'm talking about like if I get gel nails on my hands, it lasts a little bit longer, but the powder dip nails may like last a month. You're telling the difference and you're contrasting because but would say, yeah, but this is different. You know what I mean? Like on the other hand. So those are some of the phrases. And again, in this video, you'll be able to see a link that has a list of like transitional words and things like that. So I hope that this helped. And I'm signing out. See you.